welcome back to another episode of the Horsemen Pro Football Talk podcast. I'm Brad.
Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
All right, so this is the third edition. Each week we're going to do three editions. We will do a recap. We'll do a fantasy update, and then we'll do a preview for the upcoming week, which this is we're going to preview week 2 today as we move down through some of these games. And we'll give you our picks, and I'm just going to go on record and I say I hope that our picks are better this week than they were last week.
Yeah, unpredictability in week 1 kind of messed everything up.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Zach?
I was just going to say it's a little hit or miss. We hit on most of them, but there were some games that, it happens. So
yeah, I got some messages from some listeners that were calling me out about locks of the week, and I was like, come on, just hang in there. We know what we're talking about, I promise. So we gotta pick up our game a little bit for sure.
Well, in our defense, I know there are at least 2 games that we all missed, but everybody else in our Pick'em League also missed too. So
yeah. Well, and I would say that everybody should have missed them, but I heard there were on one of these major websites there were 5 people as of Sunday night that had hit all the games right. And that just absolutely blew my mind. I can't fathom. It must be one of those people that just picks them because they like their team color.
I know, right?
So, all right. Well, first game, Bengals and Browns. It's a terrible game to start with, but we got to get it out of the way, right? AFC North game that doesn't mean much about anything when everything shakes out. We fully expect the Ravens and the Steelers to be at the top of this game. Boy, the Browns look bad. They looked real bad.
They did, but at the same time, they were playing the Ravens too.
You've got to give them that. Yeah, but it was bad. And Hefe and I talked a lot the other day on the recap about it being week 1 and so many teams having trouble with week 1. I have to think that part of that was the Browns' problem. The Ravens are going to be like the Chiefs and the Saints. They didn't need a preseason. Everybody else did. Some of the things that happened in the Browns game, I still have to think that we just got the curse of Cleveland carrying over into this year again, it looks like.
Yeah, very well could be. I think Baker Mayfield has been struggling quite a bit. Be interesting to see if he actually does something this year. He's been in the league, 2 years now? So it's time for him to either step up or Cleveland needs to start looking for a different quarterback. So especially against the Bengals, if they lose this game, it's not going to be good for the Browns at all. The Browns are favored by 6 at home. I have them winning the game, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than 6 points. So the Bengals will cover the spread. But I think with Joe Burrow having a game under his belt, I think he might do some good things this game. But again, I got Cleveland winning.
Yeah, I have Cleveland winning also. I think this game's going to look a lot like the Bengals' last game when they just played the Chargers. It's going to be a low-scoring affair. I'm not going to see a whole lot of greatness come out of this game. And Cleveland, I don't know if it's people are overhyping things, but OBJ, since he went to Cleveland, is graded as the 66th best wide receiver in the league, which is way down from what he was with the Giants. So when he was with the Giants, maybe his productivity was just him getting the ball a lot because he was the only guy there. But they look super dysfunctional. I want to give them a pass because they have new coaches. They're trying to get a new system in place. But Baker, I can't get over the fact that Baker's just overrated. He's been overrated since the day people started talking about him. Like, he was never going to be a major impact kind of guy in the NFL. He's never going to be that guy. As much as I would like the Browns to win, there's a lot of talent there. But when you don't have the right guy at quarterback, you're not going to get to the playoffs and win playoff games. So I have the Browns winning this game, but it's not going to look good.
And I'd like to point out that you've been, that's a pretty bold statement about Baker because you've been pretty high on the Browns. This isn't just you're not just a Browns fan passing judgment. The quarterback sucks and we need to run him out of town. you've really tried to make this work, and believed in what the Browns were doing, and they just haven't been able to do it. This is well thought out opinion, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and I try to come as unbiased with things as possible, and so I've been trying to like Baker. I never really liked him because his personality, and he was so cocky and all this and that. But I tried to get past that because so many people were so high on him. But he's not producing. Like there's nothing left to root for. This team has so much potential and so much talent, and this guy just can't get it done.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Agreed.
He does make good commercials though. All right, I new coaching, trying to put everything together. Weirdest preseason. I don't know how many times we said that the other day. We're going to say it all day today too. Weirdest preseason I've ever seen in the 40 years that I've been watching football. They were extremely dysfunctional. This is an interconference game. All bets go out the window. The Bengals, I think, got their number, and I'm going with the Bengals.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see.
It will. I have that. I just have that feeling. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I had a lot of feelings last week, and they didn't play out too well. So
If the
all right.
Bengals win this game, do the Browns go ahead and trade OBJ like they've been talking about?
I would get the value while you can, if there's any value left.
Do you rebuild if you never rebuilt in the first place? I don't know how that works.
I mean, that's what they've been doing for 20 years now?
Yeah. Ever since Bernie Kosar left back. You guys probably don't even know who Bernie Kosar is. How long ago that was. All right. Next game up, Falcons at Dallas.
Well, you guys know I'm high on Dallas this year, and pretty disappointing showing last week. But I like to think that that's another thing. A bunch of new components. You got a new coaching system, a new system you're trying to bring into place. But it didn't look good against the Rams team that a whole lot of people didn't expect a lot from. But the Rams did look good. So we'll have to see about both these teams going forward. But the Falcons didn't look good either. I thought that defense, with now that guys are healthy and back in the lineup, that they would be able to come back and get things going. But whatever Dan Quinn is doing there is not working. There's way too much talent on this team to continuously lose like this. I have to put that on him because Matt Ryan is a Hall of Fame type quarterback. He should be able to win games. And it's not happening. So I don't know if they'll be able to beat the Cowboys. I got the Cowboys winning this week.
Kind of agree, except I have the Falcons actually pulling this one out. Dallas is favored by 4.5. Matt Ryan threw for 450 yards last week. I know they didn't win, but he was still tossing to Gage and Jones, Ridley. So I think their offense is fine. It's their defense that's the issue. I just think they'll step up against the Cowboys and take it this week.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Jeff. I think there's something called the sunk cost fallacy, and I think the Falcons are holding on to the glory years from a few years ago, and they're trying to keep everything together. And what Dan Quinn's doing isn't working. It's not good enough to get it done. And if I'd started this conversation with a different approach, I would have started it with, are the Seahawks that good or the Falcons that bad? And we still don't know yet. But it wasn't a very good showing for Atlanta. And I think the Cowboys deserve a pass because McCarthy's new. And we talked about this the other day with all the new coaches coming in with Dallas and with Indianapolis and not necessarily the coach, but with Brady coming into Tampa Bay and all the new personnel and pieces, and to not have a preseason, I think was devastating. And we saw that in week one. So I think the Cowboys deserve a pass in that respect. I don't know that, 2 weeks is enough to get it in gear, but I think you can get it better. They're at home, and I got to go with the Cowboys.
Smart man.
All right. Next game up, the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. I'm just going to go on record. I'll go first. I'm high on the Dolphins, but this isn't it. They're going to start out 0-2, probably shatter my dreams of moving up to the top of AFC East. Buffalo has too much, and we can't. Fitzpatrick can't throw interceptions like he did. There's still obviously some tweaking to do, and I think Buffalo comes away with an easy win.
Yeah, right there. Buffalo's favored by 6. I have them winning the game, but I think it's going to be closer than 6 points. I don't think Josh Allen is going to have as strong of a game as he did last week. Miami's defense isn't bad. They were just playing a New England Patriots team that looked better than everybody thought they were going to look like. So I think it'll be a close game, but ultimately Buffalo's going to come out with the win.
Yeah, I think this one's going to look kind of easy. I think they're going to blow it open a little more than the Patriots did last week. That Patriots team just doesn't have the weapons that Josh Allen has. And they have 2 running backs that they can use in a run first offense. They have 2 good number 1, number 2 receiver. They have a good slot receiver in Cole Beasley. There's a lot there. The defense is probably better than the Patriots this year when you look at who left for the Patriots or opted out for the Patriots. That Bills defense is stout. They have one of the best corners in the league to be able to lock up Preston Williams. We don't know if Devontae Parker will be able to go. So I expect Fitzpatrick to probably throw a couple more interceptions. They're going to have to pass a lot this game. But I think the Bills win this one pretty easily.
Just a quick note. This game is the lowest projected over/under on the Vegas line. They're at 41 on the over/under.
Interesting.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. Doesn't surprise me. And I say that because the AFC East a lot of time ends up a lot of the AFC East games for some reason end up being a field goal festival.
Yeah, I remember you saying that before.
Yeah. So that's probably pretty accurate there. All right, another ratings burner here. The Giants at the Bears. I'm not going to do this very many times this year, but I'm going to go with the Bears. I don't know how they did what they did. I mean, is he going to show out? Is he going to be who they thought he was?
I think last week was a fluke, to be honest. I don't think so. I mean, personally, I have the Giants winning this game. The Bears are favored by 5.5, but I think that's only because they won last week. I don't think the Bears are a good team. I could be wrong. We'll see, but I got the Giants winning.
Yeah, I have the Giants winning this one too. The Bears really got lucky last week that DeAndre Swift dropped an easy touchdown pass in the end zone. The Lions should have won that game. And sure, Mitch's stats look good, but I think his inconsistency is going to show again. And even though the Giants didn't look good, they have huge offensive line issues there that were very prevalent on Monday night. I think the Giants are going to be able to figure it out. They have enough weapons there to be able to do just enough to win this game.
Okay, I'm going the opposite direction again. The Bears are at home. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Giants. They didn't show up well against the Steelers. Coin toss for me goes to the home team, and so I'm going with the Bears. It's one of those probably because they won last week, and I'll probably wish on Monday I hadn't. But we'll make a decision to go with it. So, all right, Broncos at Steelers, no brainer. Anybody got any reason to give the Broncos any hope in this game?
Well, yeah, because the Steelers just played the Giants, right? Nobody expected Giants to be a heavy hitter this year, but that Denver defense looked really good. So I think that defense can give the Steelers a little more issue than what the Giants were able to give them. I think it'll be a harder fought game. I do have the Steelers winning this game, but
Zach,
I
you
think
want to tell him, or you want me to tell him?
Go ahead. I might jump in here on his side. The Denver defense held Derrick Henry, the reigning NFL rusher, to 3.7 yards per carry, which was
I
ranked
saw that.
31st among running backs over the week. So they shut down the reigning rushing leader. James Conner's out. Benny Snell stepping in for Pittsburgh. However, Big Ben proved that he could still spread the ball, get down the field. Juju Smith-Schuster showed up. I got Pittsburgh winning this one easy. They're favored by 7.5. It's definitely going to be bigger than that. That's all I got to say.
I mean, it's a great point about Henry. Excellent point. It makes me wonder, game film will do wonders. And was it a great game plan to stuff the run and make Tannehill beat them? And he couldn't do it. Right, he did. I don't. And I'm a Tannehill guy, but there's a whole lot that goes into that. It remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. Not really discounting anything, but I don't think the Broncos have enough to beat the Steelers at home.
Yeah, I don't either. As much as I think that defense was really surprising without Von Miller, I just don't know if they'll be able to stop that Pittsburgh team. And even if they can stop them, that Pittsburgh defense might be the best in the league. They looked insane against the Giants.
Okay, next up, Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers.
Let me start this one off.
Okay.
All right, so Aaron Rodgers, your number 2 overall passer for week 1, 354 yards, 4 touchdowns against the Vikings. Trubisky threw 3 touchdowns against Detroit. Aaron Rodgers going to repeat. Green Bay's going to blow them out. Favored by, I think, 6 points as a spread. It's going to be worse than that. Detroit 0-2, Green Bay 2-0. And remember, I got Green Bay as your number 1 NFC team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nobody believed me, but after week 1, everybody's jumping on that ship.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump on there with you. I think this is gonna get really ugly. The number 2 corner for Detroit is out this game, so I mean, even more reason for Aaron Rodgers to go out there and repeat what he did last week. Not a whole lot to talk about here. It's going to be a slaughter fest. Not going to be close. Packers definitely win this game.
Yeah, look, if Trubisky threw 3 touchdowns against the Lions, Rodgers will throw 3 in the first quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
This could be really ugly. It could be really lopsided. It is an interconference game. We've talked about that before. We saw what happened in week 1, but I don't expect that. So,
no, not at all.
All right, we're all in agreement there with the Packers. The Jags in Tennessee.
Well,
thank God one of them gets to lose, right?
Very good point.
Yeah. It's I think we've mentioned in the podcast before that we're in an AFC South group, and it's been unbearable all week. The Jags fans are just in your face, are out of control. The Titans fans are a little bit more tempered than they've been. They've been that way all the entire offseason that they were going to win the Super Bowl. I think the other night, I think they were holding their breath for a while, and they decided not to be they're happy they won, but they decided not to be real cocky about it. And Jeff and you and I talked about this the other night. The Jags, I told both of you on Sunday, I have never had as high expectation for the Colts to win that I remember. I'm sure I probably have, as I did the other day. I never expected what happened against Jacksonville. Again, new quarterback. Obviously, the loss of Marlon Mack hurt bad there. We're going to go through all this here in a second. I don't mean to jump ahead with the Colts, but trying to get the quarterback trying to get in the system, get the system down, get the timing with the guys. Mack went down. You got a rookie running back coming in. No preseason. You can't get everything together. You go on the road in an interconference game, and everything that could have gone wrong did. So I said the other day that I don't want to be down on the Jags. I really don't want to be that guy. They played hard, and because they played hard, they won. Had they not played hard, they probably still would have lost. But they did play hard. And Minshew played well. But it's not going to happen 2 weeks in a row. The Titans walk away with this one.
Yeah, I got Tennessee winning. I don't think Tennessee did look very impressive Monday night. So I think it's going to be a closer game than what it's predicted. They're favored by 9 points over the Jags. Gardner Minshew went 19 for 20 against the Colts, which is pretty impressive. I don't care what team you're playing. It'll be interesting to see how he does this week. I think it might have been a fluke last week, but we'll see. If he has a very strong performance, I think they can compete. with the Titans. I don't think they're going to win though. I got Tennessee taking it. Jacksonville covering the spread though.
Yeah, I don't see Jacksonville winning this one. You know, their defense look good at times, but you can't really. You're when you average less than I think it was 9 yards per attempt, then you're not going to move the ball enough. And this Tennessee defense is stingy, just stingy enough to do work on that Jacksonville offense. But generally, Derrick Henry has heydays against Jacksonville, and I don't expect that to be any different, especially after this past week against Denver. You know, they were able to slow them down. I think they're going to come into this game with the mindset to be the aggressors and to make sure to get Derrick Henry going. So I have the Titans in this.
All right, we all in agreement there. All right, next up, this is a tough one. Vikings in Indianapolis. Anyone want to go first?
I'll jump on it. All right, so last week, Aaron Rodgers, 354 yards, 4 touchdowns against Minnesota. Philip Rivers still threw for 363 yards, 2 touchdowns against Jacksonville. So I think if Philip Rivers can protect the ball and limit his turnovers, expect him to have a great game. I actually have the Colts winning this. I know a lot of people are picking Minnesota, but they didn't look very good against the Packers. But again, that's Aaron Rodgers just snapping, trying to protect his job. So I think it's going to be a close game. I do have Indianapolis taking this one at home. They're favored by 3. Let's hope they can get it done because a 0-2 start will not be good.
No, not unexpected. You know, for some reason, there's just something with the Colts week one. I think it's the last 8 or 9 years the Colts have lost on week one. So, you know, take it for what you will. But the Vikings, you know, coming into this year, we thought they would have a weak secondary, and they were really, really bad, like super leaky. That even Alan Lazard was able to have a huge game, and so I expect the Colts at home, first home game of the year. They're gonna be able to take care of business. I think they're gonna run the ball more instead of pass the ball and leave time on the clock. I think they want to control the game pace, and they're gonna do that with the run game this week, and expect the Colts to win this game.
This game creates a huge intellectual and emotional and moral dilemma for me, and I have gone back and forth on this. I'm big on the Vikings. I'm big on what Zimmer's doing there. They brought in Kubiak, so they also are I believe are a victim of not having a preseason as was Indianapolis. I've been very vocal about how I feel about the Colts. We all have, and what Frank Reich is doing there. And they were as big as victims, anybody, in my opinion, of not having a preseason. So to me, this is I've gone back and forth so much that I almost have to call this a coin toss. Coin toss I give to the home team. I got a bad feeling about it as a fan. I'm still going to go with the Colts because they're at home, and I'm probably a little more emotionally involved in it than I should be. But I think the what I want to highlight, despite the fact, other than my pick, is that this is where we're going to see which of these two teams, if either, are going to grow and emerge into what we've talked about them having the potential to be. Because last week was a preseason game. I still think one game's not enough to fix your problems, but it's enough to make some adjustments to be competitive. And so it'd be really interesting to see which, for both of these teams, which team shows up. But I got to go with Indianapolis.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes down to it, you know, I trust the Vikings offense to get theirs too. But the one thing that sets it apart for me is that I trust Indy's defense more than I would the super young Vikings defense.
Yeah, good point. And we're going to see a lot more Jonathan Taylor this week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that too.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. All right, next up, Rams at the Eagles.
The Eagles just look bad, right? They have the injury bug. You know, I think right now there are a lot of fans just feel bad for the Eagles. They can't get anybody healthy, except Cowboys fans. But the Rams look good, and the Rams were able to get a lot of pressure on Dak and keep him flustered in the pocket, and I expect it to be the same here. If Washington can get 8 sacks on Carson Wentz, I expect Aaron Donald to get like 4 by himself at least. I think it's going to be kind of ugly because he doesn't have time to throw. There's not going to be the running lanes this game. It's probably going to get a little nasty. I expect the Rams to run away with this one.
Yeah, the Rams did look good against the Cowboys, and the Eagles started out looking good and just had an epic collapse by Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is still a good player. I think he'll recover. This game is supposed to be the closest game among all the games for week 2. The Rams are favored by 1.5. So I actually have the Eagles winning it because they're at home. Hope I'm not wrong. The Rams were impressive last week, so it wouldn't surprise me if they did pull this one out or they just completely run over the Eagles. So it'll be a testament to see how the Eagles are going to look for the rest of the season with this matchup. So again, I got the Eagles winning it. It's kind of a toss-up in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It's a toss-up. The Eagles. It'll all come down. I think the home field advantage is part of this equation, as you mentioned, Zach. I think how Carson Wentz and the Eagles respond is the huge key. I'm sure that they were completely let down. Now, it was an interconference game. It's game 1, again, of this 2020 season with the weirdest preseason ever. It's really hard to gauge how much of that collapse was just lack of preparation. We know that Rivera's got some things going on. We know that teams respond when their coaches are going through some things. There's a lot of emotions in an interconference game. So when you try to sort through all of that and see Los Angeles coming all the way across country and playing against a team that was humiliated and didn't expect it last week, I have to give the edge to the Eagles, just that they're going to be able to turn around and pull their first home win, first road game, pull the win in. I think also going back to what Zach said, if the Rams pull this out, then they're a contender. I think at a 2-0 start with what they did with Dallas, coming all the way across country and beating the Eagles, despite the circumstances, at 2-0, we really have to look at them as a division contender. But without further ado, I'm actually, with all that said, I'm going to pick the Rams.
What? After everything you just went through?
Everything I just went through.
Wow, leaving me out to dry.
Just splitting the difference, trying to make everybody feel good here.
Just being smart.
But I agonized over that pick. I went through that just over and over and over and over. I just got to go. I got to go with a better team. As far as a pick concerned, I got to go with a better team. So
understandable.
Yep. All right. This won't be the case for this one. The 49ers and the Jets. It's Adam Gase. I'll go first. Adam Gase's next step towards being fired again. This will be a disaster for the Jets, as we've come to expect. This will be a preseason tune-up game for the 49ers. This will be an opportunity to really mix some things up and see some different schemes for the 49ers and just get better as a team. That's all I got to say about that.
Agreed. 49ers are favored by 7.5. They're going to absolutely destroy the Jets and redeem their week 1 loss.
I do think the 49ers are going to win, but if George Kittle doesn't play in this game, then I think it's going to be, closer than people think. If George Kittle doesn't play in this game, nobody should watch this game. This is going to be the most boring game of the week. But the 49ers should win this game. Just Kyle Shanahan calling plays and Raheem Mostert in the backfield. I have a lot of faith in the 49ers. So I think they're going to win this game pretty handily.
All right. Speaking of redemption, Panthers at the Buccaneers. I've seen the memes all week about Brady made a mistake. He should have stayed in New England. I don't agree with that at all. At all. There's a lot of new pieces. We talked about this the other day, Jeff. Fournette's only been there, 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Tom comes in. You got a new quarterback. You got Gronk coming in. You got Fournette coming in. You got so many new pieces that they're trying to put in. Everybody get their timing to get together and get on the same page. and you can't simulate a game, and then you go play arguably one of the top 5 teams in the league right now, that has had their shit together for 15 years. I think people expected too much out of Tampa Bay, and I put myself in that category. Um, but this isn't the last we've seen of the Buccaneers. I still hold to the fact they're a real contender. They really have something going on, and I think this week at home, I think they're gonna. I think they may whittle some things down, fix some of the problems, simplify some things, and really at home look to get the W.
Yeah, I agree. They're favored by 9. I got to win them by 2 touchdowns. I think. I mean, it was week 1, and unfortunately, they had to go against the Saints, which both of you guys have winning the Super Bowl this year. So, I mean, it was just a tough game 1 with a new team, no off season, trying to get all the pieces to mesh together. I think they're going to rebound, beat the Panthers by 2 touchdowns, and that'll kickstart their season, and they'll rattle off quite a bit more wins.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna echo the same sentiment. I do like the Panthers a lot. I like the pieces they have, but that defense is just way too young and inexperienced. There's not enough talent there to stop this offense, and that Bucks defense really looked pretty good. They were able to bottle up Michael Thomas up until he got hurt. I think he finished the game with 1 catch for 3 yards, something like that. So the defense is looking good. The offense needs to get sharper, but that's obviously a learning thing. There's lots to learn in Bruce Arians' offense, and Bruce is trying to let Tom introduce his own things and have some control over the offense. So it'll take a couple weeks to even it out and whatnot. The Saints probably going to win this division, but Tampa Bay absolutely still playoff team, and you should expect them to win this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to give a big shout out. We had our friend the Deuce on here a couple weeks ago. I grew up with the Deuce, and he was a big time DJ in Indianapolis for many years. Now he is down here at Tampa 98 Rock, Tampa Bay, and I'm not going to be able to make it, but I don't know if you guys saw, he is hosting a big party, a big Bucks party for the game at the Wing House in Tampa this Sunday. They got a big thing going on for the Bucks' first home game. I certainly can't make it, but I want to give him a big shout out and tell anybody listening in Tampa, check it out, going down to the Wing House and party with the Deuce on Sunday and watch the Bucks bring home the first W.
Heck yeah, that'd be a great time.
Yeah, sure would. All right. The Washington football team at the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not real high on the Washington football team. We've talked a lot about that. I don't really necessarily want to rip Rivera, but he's a brand new coach, 1 game, no preseason. I don't expect a whole lot out of this football team, especially with the personal things he's going through for this year. I didn't expect what happened against the Eagles. I'm certainly not going to expect it on the road in Arizona.
Agreed. Arizona looked great week 1. I expect that to continue for week 2. They're favored by 6.5. I think it'll be more than that, and they'll move on to 2-0.
This is a game that I actually have. It could either be a huge blowout or this is going to be a grind out kind of game. But I think that defensive front for Washington can cause, probably not obviously 8 sacks a game would be crazy, but I think they can do a good job of causing havoc. There's a lot of talent there. They've spent a lot of draft capital. And so I think they can disrupt what the Cardinals are trying to do, but that offense is made to get the ball out of Kyler's hands as quickly as possible. So it's kind of a back and forth there. It's really going to be, can they still get there in time? Can they stop Kyler when he rolls out of the pocket? And, I guess that'll be more the athleticism of the rest of the defense when he's rolling out. Overall, I think that the Cardinals just have too much talent to lose this game, but I do think it's an interesting game to watch.
All right, fair point. But we're all in agreement. Cardinals going to get the W this weekend.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, Chiefs and the Chargers. I know the Chargers fans are excited they were able to pull out a win this week. I hope that excitement can carry them into week 3.
Yeah, exactly.
The Chiefs just looked too good in game 1. to dismantle a team like the Texans, and I'm not super high on the Texans, but the Texans have the capability to win the division. They have the capability to make the playoffs, and the Chiefs just made them look really bad. They made it look way too easy, just doing what they wanted to do. In game one, um, they looked, if it's any possible, they looked better than I expected them to, and I don't know how that's possible. I'm actually have been higher on the Ravens coming into this season through the off season than I was the Chiefs, which was that's debatable. But with the way the Chiefs played the other night, I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say the Chiefs looked amazing week one, kicking off the season. They're favored by 9. I see them winning by at least 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll blow the game open by 3 touchdowns. There's a lot of talent in the secondary there. I mean, really the defense overall. I know Derwin James isn't there for that Chargers defense, but there's still so much talent on that defense. So I think it'll be, a lot of Chargers games this year are probably going to be really competitive, but the Chiefs just have too much going on. Last year when Mahomes got hurt, probably the worst thing for everybody because after he came back from that and he did really well in the first game back, he let people know that he didn't really understand how to read NFL coverages until I think it was week 8 last year. So, if he keeps getting better at reading defenses, his team is just going to keep getting better. He's understanding the checkdowns more. They have a running back they can lean on whenever they want to. It's just like you can't stop this team. It's starting to look like the Ravens, right? You can't find a way to stop this team. So I expect the Chiefs to win this one.
Yeah. All right. And just a little side note, ESPN has that 98% of fans have picked the Chiefs to beat the Chargers this week. It's the highest percentage there is in all the games, with Baltimore being right behind that, which brings us to our next game: Ravens at the Texans. This is an interesting game. It's a very interesting game because I believe, as I said a minute ago, I have believed that the Ravens may be the best team in the league. They may have the best. Until I saw Kansas City play the other night, I want to reiterate that point. I thought they maybe have the best opportunity to go undefeated throughout the season. The Chiefs are certainly right up there, and I think they're the 2 dominant teams in the entire league. With that said, the Texans aren't as bad as what happened the other night. The Chiefs are just that good. They are in Houston. The Texans really have to, I mean, this isn't a do or die. I don't mean to be over dramatic about it, but they really need to win this game. They've got the Steelers next and the Vikings after that. They've got really 4 tough games to start the season. The second half of their season is much easier. So if they do go 0-4, they could still salvage their season. But I think they had high expectations of winning this division, getting a solid playoff spot. So I don't know if they can. They need to respond. I don't know they have the leadership to respond. I'm not a big Bill O'Brien fan. This game is extremely interesting. So to cut through the chase, I've chosen Baltimore. I've told you over and over and over why I've chosen Baltimore. But I'm really interested to see how the Texans are going to respond.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they respond. I don't think it's going to happen this week at all. I think it's going to be a repeat of game 1 against the Chiefs. Baltimore's just going to shut them down, run up the score, and that'll be it. Texans 0-2, Baltimore 2-0. Let me just note real quick: Baltimore's favored by 7.5. They're easily going to cover that.
Yeah, I expect him to blow this one open pretty easily. That Texas defense, like we said before, just not what it used to be. That secondary, it can be had. And I expect Marquise Brown and Willie Snead and Mark Andrews to just find all the open lanes and get behind the defense. This is going to be another field day for Lamar. Another easy game, maybe not 38-6 like last week, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Well, and we are all 3 in good company because 93% of fans are picking Baltimore this week over Texans. So speaks volumes for itself. All right, Patriots at Seahawks.
I think this will be a good game.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so. The Patriots look better than everybody anticipated, but I don't see them actually winning the game. I think it'll be close. Seattle's favored by at least 4, so it'll be a close game, low-scoring game. But I see the Seahawks ultimately squeaking this one out. It'll be fun to watch though. Cam Newton was pretty impressive last week.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of flash to come out of this game. I'd be real excited to watch it because of Cam Newton and everything. Who don't really want the Patriots to win, but and I don't think they will. I have the Seahawks winning this game because there's just something about, as good as Belichick is, as good as those defenses are, he just has trouble stopping mobile quarterbacks. And Russ isn't necessarily like a Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen looking to run, 10 to 15 times a game. But if he needs to get out, he can move and he's quick and he's probably the best deep ball passer in the league over the last 3 seasons. So this one I don't really expect to be like ultra competitive. I think the Seahawks will win somewhere between 10 and 17 points, but it should be exciting.
Yeah. So this pains me to say this, but the Patriots don't have anything, in my opinion, going into Seattle. I think that Cam looked good for there. There was no way to prepare for Cam last week. There's just no way to prepare. There wasn't any preseason film. We didn't know. Nobody knew what Belichick was going to do with him. He was able to pick up a lot of yards rushing, and when you're trying to contain, that changes your secondary coverage all around. There'll be game film. The Seahawks. This is what pains me. I got to give it to them. I was very impressed with what they did last week, even though I'm not a Pete Carroll fan. I think this is a kick in the teeth for Bill Belichick. This is going to be a reality check. Now, with that said, if anyone's going to figure out how to slow the Seahawks down, it could be Bill Belichick because of his defensive prowess and what he's had. But that ship may have sailed. I don't know what the spread is going to be. I don't know how much it's going to be by, but I think the Seahawks win this one easily.
Yeah, and I think that going forward, I think in our week 1 recap, I kind of hinted at this, but if Cam Newton looked good this past Sunday, but nobody else on that offense did, and if it continues like that, they're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, it'll be too easy to close that gap. The more film teams have, the easier that'll get. So the Patriots have to find now. Now on the flip side, Belichick knows that, and I'm not going to second guess who a man that could potentially could be the. It can be argued that he could potentially be the greatest coach to ever coach the game. I'm sure he's working on that. I just don't know that he has the tools to fix it. So the dynasty may really be dead.
I hope so. It's about time. It only took 20 years.
Yeah, for sure. 17 was it? What was it? The other? I guess I didn't realize that 17 straight division titles.
Yep. Even the year Brady didn't play, the Patriots won 18 straight division titles.
18.
Or 17. Sorry,
17. Yeah. It's ridiculous. So it was fun to watch, but I'm glad it's over. It's kind of like being a Pacers fan during the Jordan era. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Glad it was over. All right. So last game, Monday night game, New Orleans Saints, Las Vegas Raiders, new stadium in Las Vegas. I'm a big Gruden fan. It's not going to matter. This machine is well oiled. I've been high on the Chiefs. I've been high on the Ravens, and I said that they were the 2 dominant teams in the league. I think the NFC has more better teams than the AFC does, but I think the AFC has the 2 top teams until I was really impressed with Breeze and Peyton and company the other night against Tampa Bay, because that was still, despite the kinks that Tampa Bay is trying to work out and that New Orleans was home, they still looked really, really, really good. I almost have to put the Saints up there with the Ravens and the Chiefs in a conversation. The Raiders just don't have enough.
Yeah, I'll jump in right there with you. Although Michael Thomas is going to be out this game with an ankle injury, but he really didn't do anything last week either. So that just shows how potent the Saints offense is. They're favored by 6. I actually think it's going to be a close game, but New Orleans is still going to win.
Yeah, I think New Orleans is going to win. I think the amount of which they won got brought down when Michael Thomas was ruled out. But I think there's a lot of good coming out of this Ravens offense. They've really worked on the offensive line. Josh Jacobs is a stud. He's coming off a 3-touchdown game. Derek Carr is still completing passes and not turning the ball over. He's not a game breaker throwing the ball down the field, but he's doing what they need to do to win games. That defense there's still some problems on the defense for me. The secondary is just a little sketchy, and I think that's what's going to hurt him in this game because the Saints still have Emmanuel Sanders, they have Traquan Smith. They'll be able to expose the defense a little bit, and Alvin Kamara obviously is going to get his. But that defense is really the Saints defense is what's the big game changer here for me. They're just so dominant in all facets of the game. So I have the Saints winning this game 31-16.
All right, excellent. All right, so that concludes the list. I want to invite all of our listeners. You can still jump in here. We'd like you to join our Pigskin Pick'em through ESPN. You can find the link on our Facebook page, and if you can't find it, send us a message. We'd love to have you from week to week. We will announce the winners every week, and so make sure you use your real name. So we've got an anonymous leader, Ricky Entry. I don't even know who Ricky is, but we certainly need to follow up with that. But please join us, tell your friends, and we'll mention your name during the podcast. Guys, I want to ask you, if you had to pick one game to lock down this week, what's your lock?
Kansas City.
I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers, lock of the week.
Interesting. I like both of those. I think they're certainly formidable picks. It gets a little iffy when we're talking interconference games. Scare me. They always scare me. There's always that team that has what you got. I'm actually going to go with the Saints. Saints over the Raiders on Monday night. But I locked the Colts in last week, so I don't need any of your messages telling me
I was gonna say
that you lost money. Your office pulled or your buddy because you were listening to my advice. There was no preseason. Give me a second. I didn't have a preseason either, so we got to work this out over the next couple of weeks. All right. Any last words?
Oh, hop in the ESPN Pick'em League. More competition, the better.
Yeah, we'd love to have you for sure. Jeff, any last words?
Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Share this with all your friends, family, anybody you know that deals with football. Share it with them. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and get entered into a chance to win your choice of free, authentic NFL jersey.
Yeah, for sure. And we'd love to have your feedback. We're just 3 guys who really love football. We love talking about it. We talked about it all the time. We thought we'd just share that with you. So we'd love your feedback as we're learning and growing. Please like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, join our Pigskin Pick'em. And until then, we'll see you next week.
Yep. See you Tuesday.